Good morning. This is Scott Cooper with Lawn Doctor to talk about fungus. We have a lot of fungus that's beginning to emerge here in Greater Columbus. So give me one moment here. I'm going to get this set up to go to the large screen. So fungus is there's a variety of types of fungus: red thread, dollar spot, take all patch, summer patch, fairy ring. So I'm bunching these all together for this presentation and to talk about what we can do to control it and why it occurs. Okay, so as I just mentioned, we have dollar spot, red thread, summer patch, take all patch, rust. We see all of these at some point in time. Dollar spot and red thread are probably the most common, at least this time of year. That may change depending on the conditions throughout the year. We've seen rust, number 5, earlier than normal this year on several lawns where it was significant damage. A couple of notes on fungus is that some types aren't killers, so to speak, of the lawn. Most of these, the lawn will recover. However, there are different types of fungi where the outbreak could kill the lawn, but the predominant number of lawns are not killed off from the fungus. Excuse me. So, pardon me. Why do lawns struggle in hot temperatures? And this is really the impetus, or one of the impetus of fungus. Everything in Columbus is cool season grasses. They enjoy temperatures in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. When you get above that on a consistent basis, the lawns get stressed out. When they're stressed out, they're vulnerable to disease. And also, they're vulnerable to insects, but that's a separate topic. So, when the temperatures are right, the moisture conditions are right, there's going to be potentially fungal activity. So, what's going on now is early onset of fungus throughout the area. We've had a lot of rain in the spring, and we've had some spikes in temperature where the temperatures rose well above normal. Soil conditions are also a large factor. With clay-based soils, we have the right conditions in many cases to where the water does not drain and the water sits on top and is a catalyst for the fungus. The spores of the fungus are in the crowns of the grass and in the soil and in the thatch layer. And when water sits there, and it's the wet sock analogy is what I use, where if you have athlete's feet and you keep wet socks on, you don't let your feet air out, you're going to have an outbreak. So how do we control fungus? Well, let's start with number one. It's very difficult. Fungicide programs are expensive and have really require a frequency of more than we can deliver on an affordable basis. If we compare what golf courses do and sports fields do, their staff is on site and can react to the conditions quickly and can put fungicide down on a moment's notice. Whereas with a lawn care company, we don't have that luxury, so we have to go out with early and use preventive fungicide, which we should really do a lot more frequently than we are. It's very costly because we have to repeat it, and really should be doing it 10 times a year, both with liquid and granular fungicides. There's also some negatives with fungicides in that they kill off favorable or good fungus that counteracts and fights off with anaerobic bad fungus. So what we've worked through this for years, and we've determined that most lawns need a way to enrich their soil. And we do this with humic acid right now, where it breaks down the clay particles and gradually improves the soil conditions. And that leads to increased microbial activity. And again, the microbes are, the forest of insects and that fight off bad insects. So we have aerobic and anaerobic insects. Where you have anaerobic conditions like these clay soils have, you have pathogens that create the fungus. Cultural practices also are a contributing factor. Mowing your lawn at the right height, not watering overnight, um, putting organic matter into the soil through leaves when you compost the leaves in the fall. All these things are contributing factors. It's a very challenging part of our business because of the affordability, the timing, the baseline of the clay-based soils. So it's really a challenge, and we see that in the spring and the fall, most lawns are in pretty good shape. But when we get to wet times, and then we get to high temperatures, there tends to be a significant amount of fungus that occurs. So soil conditions, as I mentioned, are the foundation of everything we do with plants, and certainly with lawn, it's no different. So we want to reduce soil compaction, improve drainage, enhance the microbial activity, and we can do soil tests. We found that, having done thousands in Greater Columbus, that most lawns have a high pH, and I'm talking not just greater than 50%. I'm talking 99% have high pH and low nutrient levels. So there's poor conditions. So when there's stress on the lawn, it shows. The grass may turn brown. It isn't as vibrant as when the conditions are better in the spring and fall. Seeding is another area that helps with fungus. New grass is bred to be more resistant to disease and drought. Turf type tall fescue is the predominant grass that we use and is more resilient to fight off disease. Not to say it's perfect and never gets it, but it's more hardy than Kentucky bluegrass. Um, Proper mowing, we recommend mowing at 3.5 to 4 inches, the highest level on your mower. Keeping the grass clippings in can help with some organic matter. Now, if you have an outbreak of fungus, that's probably the time to bag the contents. If you have a little bit, I don't think it's that important. But if you have an outbreak of a fungus, it probably makes sense to bag that. And aeration annually also helps to reduce compaction and um, helps to break down the clay a little bit, along with humic acid would help even more so. Helps the drainage and is an incremental step towards improving your lawn overall, but also towards fungus. And then irrigation management, we want to do 1 inch per week in the morning, preferably in one or two settings. So a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch twice a week around dawn. And it helps with reducing evaporation as compared to doing it later in the day. Okay, so here are our options, fungus treatment options. Let's go through this fungicide program on the left, soil enrichment on the right. So fungicide program, multiple, and that should really say many applications needed. It may not be effective after an outbreak. It doesn't address the underlying soil problems. It can kill beneficial fungal microbes, has a limited residual effectiveness. It can burn the grass if put down improperly, and it's a chemically based product. The soil enrichment program is more of a holistic approach and improves the soil conditions, breaks down the clay soil, helps with drainage, improves microbial activity to fight bad fungus. Essentially, the good fungus eats the bad fungus. I've taken classes called the soil food web, and I learned a lot about this. And it's pretty impressive to watch the microbes fight each other and consume each other. So when we do fungicides, we tend to kill some of the good fungus. Um, Reduces compaction, it won't burn the grass, and it's an organic product. I'm not suggesting that we're completely an organic company. We are not, but we try to use organic products when we can. And in the case with fungus, humic acid is an organic product. So in conclusion, we embrace a holistic approach. Soil enrichment improves the soil, helps with drainage, helps to create a better environment for your grass to thrive. It is not overnight. It takes a while, but it does gradually improve your grass. Your cultural practices are equally important. Keep your blade on your mower sharp. Irrigate at the right time. Aerate regularly. If you have a full sun area, I like to see people mulching their leaves. I say full sun because the grass is more vibrant and has deeper roots, generally speaking, and that organic matter from the leaves, if you go into shade, it kind of can smother those. And then regularly seeding. It doesn't have to be every year, but every other year, maybe every 3 years, will improve your soil or your grass. The younger grass is more resilient. Older grass, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, loses fertility. It is weaker than younger grass and can't fight off infection as younger grass can. So please let us know of any questions about this presentation, and we appreciate you taking the time to listen to all these thoughts about your lawn. Take care.